Hi Rick, I've had a look at some of the videos that you sent through. There's a few things that I want to talk about. Now, just if we begin with setup, one of the things that I noticed in your swing is that when you set yourself up, both of your hands are turned a long way around the grip this way, so we call that a strong grip. When you hold the club with your left hand, if you hold the club up and off the ground like this and look straight back down at your left hand, you should be able to see the first two, maybe the first three knuckles on the back of your left hand. And then put your right hand on. Now, when your thumb and forefingers are sitting quite close together, they'll form a line, and that line should point just inside your right shoulder. When you first start to practice this, you'll find that it will change the feel and the balance of the club during the swing. It may be that the first few shots you hit start to go to the right a little bit, and that's quite okay because you're adjusting to how that grip needs to feel. The second thing is that when you're setting yourself up, your upper body at address is leaning a long way away from the target. Your upper body should lean away from the target, but only a small amount. So your reference point is that if you imagine your body from here, you're tilting from the base of your spine to the right, but only so far that your left eye is on the center line of your body. So I'm leaning away from the target, but I'm not leaning too far. So two things at address. One is how you're holding the club, and the second is upper body leaning just very slightly away from the target. Now, two things I want to talk about during your swing. One is your balance. When you're swinging the club, your balance is in the downswing, particularly as you start down, your balance is moving a long way out toward your toes. Now, all I've got here is just a piece of plastic piping, but if I stand on that piping, then I can sense whether my balance is to my heels or to my toes. And when I set myself up, I'm actually going to put it through the middle of my feet. And for you, because your balance tends to go toward your toes, what I want you to do, put the tubing through the middle of your feet and then just allow your heels just to rest on the ground. So when I'm setting myself up, you can probably see my toes are actually just off the ground here. And when I swing the club back and through, I'm actually keeping my toes off the ground, especially my left toe in the downswing. My right toe, because my hips turn, will go onto the ground as I follow through. But if you get that sense of swing back, swing through, and keep your balance more toward your heels. Now, you could stand on an alignment rod or a shaft or something like that, just something that will give you the sense of how your balance is on your feet. Ideally, your balance is going to move through the center of your feet. So when I set myself up, my balance is pretty even left and right, and it's also pretty even forward and back, heel to toe. When I swing the club back, I've got more pressure and more balance into my right side, but it's distributed 50-50 on my right foot, so it's 50% heel, 50% toe. When I swing the club down and through, my balance is moving back to my left foot, but it's moving again 50-50. It's not going out onto my toes. And the final thing that I want to talk about is when you swing the club down, your hands are very active. So from the top of the swing, the hands and arms are doing a lot of work in the downswing. Now, the drill that I want you to practice, and we're going to follow up on this in other lessons, but the thing I want you to do to start with is to feel like while your fingers are firmly on the grip, your wrists are actually quite loose. So that's not me moving the club with my wrists. I feel like the club is actually moving my wrists. So when the club swings back, and particularly down and through, all I'm doing is I'm holding the club and I'm letting the swinging weight of the club move my wrists, unhinge my wrists, release my wrists, whatever you want to call it. But as it does that, there's very little manipulation. Now, your first thought when you do this is going to be that you've got very little control of the movement, and that's quite okay. What we'll do next time in follow-ups is we'll have a look and see how the swing's performing, and then perhaps do a little bit more work on this. I think we'll probably need to. So to start with, check your grip, check your body position at address, get a sense of your balance on your feet, and the fourth thing is just reduce that hand motion. And we'll see how you go.